we would like to hear from a very senior most person who worked as a deputy director in RAW, one of the intelligence organization. So we are very honored today to have you here on the stage, at least to understand what is the provision of this already doctorate. And
you all have to join. They have to be here. Abhishek sir, put it back. Take it. Okay.
Namaskar. I have a PhD from Bengaluru University. That is not our honorary PhD. We take up a problem, solve it thoroughly, publish the papers. Basically a mathematician turned into a physics man, then turned into mechanical engineering. So my PhD was in heat transfer. We had collaborators working from different countries. We do the theoretical part, somebody does the practical aspect of it. So I value PhD. But the number of PhDs from a postgraduate level to PhD is 0.007% globally. That means the filtering happens too slow. I am a PhD, my wife is a PhD. I have two sons, both of them are PhDs. One is in social science, another one is a nuclear scientist. In my house, probably my sisters, kids and everybody gathered together, probably there are 35 PhDs. And my niece, who was with the Cambridge when I visited UK last few months back, she jumps from Cambridge to either King's or Imperial. They're all the universities of the United Kingdom which started with the highest standard. Both my kids are from that. Recently I was in Kanpur IIT to interact with the PhD students, chemical engineering, because my first paper happened to be in chemical engineering. I'm a mix of many subjects. But what I also have got a PhD, which is an honorary PhD from a different country for peace. Because I have initiated a program called the World Social Craft Foundation, which I have given an honorary membership to Maya, but she didn't take it very seriously. After that, I am seeing her now. During COVID, what we have done is we have done a lot of online programs. In one of the program was Music Under Difference. I have taught 17 different language musics to different nations, people who are interested in music. That's how we collaborate. Last week I became the education and science counterpart for the United Nations Committee on Peace. I was part of the yoga community long back. The United Nations yoga community and interreligious community. There is another aspect which gave me the Peace Award the last January. Why education is important? Education is important because human beings are the only animal in the world who will keep asking questions where, when, why, how. WWWH. All other animals will only live day-to-day basis. Ahara nidra bhaya maithunani samani chaitani nanam pashunam jnanam naranam adigo visheshu jnanebihina pashuvi samana. Jnanam is more important. Knowledge is most important. So we will ask keeping questions. Now for example, I came to this hotel, I don't know how to pronounce this, Katria, who is the most active lady who was running around here. You should ask what is the meaning of Katria. Anybody? She is the one who is handling the whole picture. Tell me what is the meaning of Katria?
What is the meaning of?
Katria.
The name of the hotel.
See, if you don't ask this question, you are an animal. You can decide which animal you are. The option is yours. But if you ask that question, you will learn a lot of things. And you will learn it is a Saurashtrian, and she is from that place. That's why I specifically asked. Rajasthan, one specific caste is called Katria. Understood? So I was thinking whether this is a hotel which is run by some Rajasthan. The quest for knowledge is what is essential. If you don't have quest for knowledge, you are not learning. So how do you make people to have that quest is what education is supposed to do. But today, what happens in academic institutions, they give projects, they give solution, they will copy it and get some degrees. So degree doesn't have any value actually. PhD itself is perspiration, humiliation and degradation. I am for mathematics, so we keep saying knowing more and more about less and less is PhD. Knowing more and more means you think you know everything. No. About what? Less and less in mathematics is called nothing. So you know everything about nothing. That is actually PhD. You will become totally useless. Permanent head damage. PhD is permanent head damage, right? So education has no value because I have seen PhDs. Recently I was there in Kanpur, I asked a student who was on discussion, I had got some free time, I want to go to library. And the student who was there in that campus for 4 years was asking, where is library? That means you can do PhD without even going to the library in IIT. So education is not. What education is by Swami Vivekananda is education is man-making. Hardly we have seen people reading books on Swami Vivekananda. I published a book on Raising of India by the Rays of India on 150th anniversary of Swami Vivekananda. And in that book, what I made very clear was you should have a vision and mission and action in plan. How do you get that into post when you feel dignified? So education gives you dignity. I am an MBA. MBA doesn't mean that, oh, I solved some problems. After MBA, nobody gets job. But I was a professor of MBA. We had 40 children in the batch. I used to tell them, most of them were girls. So I told them, your kids can tell my mother is an MBA. That's it. Which has no value, right? But what I did was, I asked them to go to their village, identify problems, and solve the problems. That was the dissertation which is given. 23 of them got job in a small place called Bongir, even before they submitted their MBA project. So those who have skill will get job much faster than the certificates and qualification. So skill is more important. I am not a beard. I don't have a bed or a mud. Beard and a mud, right? But I have authored books on education, and that education book is called Adaptive Learning, which is written in 2007 on how to use multimedia into classrooms. When I wrote that book, people laughed at me. When I forced them to attend my sessions on creating multimedia classrooms, they were not active, they were not participating. But I was academic staff college director just for certificate. I forced them to do that. I was director for academic staff college, 2005 to 2007. But nicely, Professor COVID made people, everybody to learn internet education, adaptive learning. And I took my book back and said, read. This will tell you 17 years back what I wrote become practically useful. So what is PhD? PhD is Doctor of Philosophy. What is Doctor of Philosophy? Dirgha Drishti. Your knowledge is philosophy. Philosophy is what people see you should not see. You should see something beyond that. Your vision has to be much beyond what people can see around you. Then you become a leader because you are being with the people, but you are able to lead them beyond where they are. So probably some of the degrees which added to you, academically you cannot get because it's a tourism job. But if somebody orders you when you have that leadership, when you have that vision, I'm sure it will at least motivate some people around you to have that vision. tomorrow I have a webinar, which what I am doing is a new education policy looking at, see what happens is higher education people go abroad for studies. The lower education people are arrested in the engineering colleges. Actually, I keep saying all the education institutions in India are soft jail. If you leave them without education, turmoil will happen in whole India. They are getting arrested because even though they are 18 years, there is a guardian who will not allow them to go out of the gate. Right, that's almost like a jail. 4 years you are arrested inside the campus. Below that what happens, they are put in residential schools. Rich fellows, all the parents want their children to get educated in private schools. So all private schools are meant for rich parents. Government schools are meant for the teachers because they get salary without doing anything. But we don't have schools for children. Right? So my education has gone from the highest, probably the highest university level to the lowest, thinking that I can make some difference in that. So tomorrow's webinar, which I am planning, is for early childcare education, where age 3 to grade 3, what difference you can make. We have got somebody who is doing a big business on education. I feel that there has to make some new model in education. Model means every place it has to be different. Unfortunately, Kasturi Rangan happens to be the chairman for new education policy. I'm sure he has not even touched a child in his life. I know him personally because he was the chairman when I was in the program planning and project management directorate in headquarters in Bengaluru. No touch at all. How can somebody be in education where you don't even know? Right? Because that's a political appointment. He became Rajya Sabha member just because somebody else wanted to become chairman. That seat has to be removed and somebody is placed there. That's the highest politics which happen in every department in Government of India. So what essentially required is keep a vision. Look what is happening around and think in your own style. If you can think in your own style, you are eligible. And then say, yeah, with a dignified face, I can say that I have a PhD. I got a doctorate. I got 2-3 doctorates. But sometime I will show an Indian who has got nearly 400 PhDs in the last 2-3 years. Because he keeps buying PhDs, right? He became ambassador for PhDs. That shouldn't happen. Under early education, I am planning a PhD from one of the American university with a collaboration where 3 years people have to work. Write down a thesis, evaluate very thoroughly, and then give it. So it's not an honorary doctorate, it's a worked doctorate for a practical problem in the country. Right? So there are a variety of education systems in the world where things happen in a different style. In America, one of my students who is in MIT, the course is for 3 years, you can also complete it in 1.5 years for excellent and brilliant. It's so flexible. So most of the honorary doctorates are started because people have to be recognized. I was also part of the syndicate senate of one of the universities in Kerala, one of the oldest university where I was a student to start with for 50 years back. We also give honorary doctorates, those who contributed to culture, education, different relationships, different social aspects. So physical, emotional, intellectual, social, spiritual. These fivefold development has to be recognized. And we don't have a system in India probably to get a legal master's, legal PhD in those subjects. So in such subjects probably collaboratively a recognized system can give. So I congratulate all the people who got it genuinely. Right? Eligibility wise and what you are going to do with this degree is more important than what degree you have. So money which you hold doesn't make any sense unless you make it legally fine. Right? Always business talks about not keeping money but spending it. The wiser people will spend it for a better purpose. Probably non-wiser will not do it. So I wish and hope that the degree which is awarded, the degree which is given, will hold your dignity up. Also keep the society around you who can give message to the other people around you, showing that yes, this is worth something which for a greater vision in your life. Thank you so much. All the best. And I congratulate the organizers for doing this. And then happening in Hyderabad. If it happens in Delhi, I am sure he will not call me. Because I will ask flight fare, right? Right. I am into social service since 2009 and after my retirement from Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's office. All the time is for somebody else. But generally what I do is I demand a stay, not in a small hotel, but at least Marriott or Taj minimum. And a decent travel. So he never called me in Delhi when it happened. He is calling me in Delhi in October, right? Okay. So I put a star there and say, provided the airfare is given. So thank you. God bless you, inshallah. And see you somewhere some point of time.
Thank you so much, sir. It's an honor standing in front of always a guru, a guide, a mentor, a great persona, not only in the single field, but in a multiple field. We can observe his wisdom, his level of thoughts, and whatever. I mean, I don't have the words to express his character particularly. He is my mentor and guide. These two words, I think, are sufficient to explain about his character, because I really admire him a lot, and I used to learn a lot of things from him and from his lectures. If you go on the YouTube, Google, anywhere, DrTPS, you'll find lakhs of lectures. Even one of my friends who's working as a director of CBSE, Dr. Biswajit Saha, he recommended me DrTPS for a workshop on NEP. So see the level. I mean, I have no words to explain. And one more time I was approaching Sir, my guru, as one of the guests in my event. So probably, unfortunately, my brother-in-law, who's working as a joint secretary in PMO, he was there as a guest. So once he read the DrTPS is coming, he was very happy, because he was knowing him from, I don't know what connection, because he's also in the cabinet secretariat and you were also in the cabinet secretariat long back. So we'll have an oath ceremony, and गुरु के सामने कुछ बोलना बड़ा नगण्य सा लगता है कि हम क्या बोल रहे हैं. सूरज के सामने अगर दीपक लेके पहुंच जाइए तो एक मूर्खता है, that's a kind of foolishness. लेकिन फिर भी एक प्रोफार्मा है, एक फॉर्मेट ऑफ द इवेंट है, तो इस कारण से we'll take an oath on the. It is only for the candidates who are getting their honorees cause of doctorate award. एक चीज और मैं बता दूं, always you will have to feel the responsibility, not only the responsibility to take prefix doctor to your name, but it's a huge responsibility towards the society for strengthening new Bharat, which is a vision of Prime Minister Modi. Because I am a brand ambassador of Viksit Bharat, recently appointed 3 days back. So I am very glad that Prime Minister Modi, graciously he is gracing the nation, one of the legendary icon and leader of India, who is heading India towards Vishwaguru. So thank you once again for joining this event. And my guru, I would like to pay my gratitude first of all to him. And let's start the plays. I would like to appeal all the students, scholars, candidates who are getting their honoris causa doctorate today to stand up and take the place position so that we can carry ahead. Now let's start. Are you all ready? Thank you. I speak some of the words, you'll have to repeat after me. This 6th day of April 2024.
Get them onto the stage, no? Get them onto the stage.
My mentor's order always on my head. Please come on the stage, all of you, to take the pledge. Thank you.